Hey everyone, welcome to the stream. This is Accounting Nightmare. Just load up the program, get ready to go. Alright, we are still in case 2 of Ace Attorney Investigations 2. Hopefully we'll be able to finish it today, hopefully, maybe. I think we're in the final segment of it. Welcome Lauren, how are you? Alright. This is a very convoluted case. I'll have to just remember what the heck was going on. So Simon Keyes is still the suspect. The assassin? We're starting to question if the assassin was the actual killer. Alright. Imprisoned Turnabout End Part 2. And we're going to investigate the well one more time. Because now we're thinking that the body was dropped down the well. We know the well is connected with the tunnel that, what's his name, Doug? Jailbird. Alright. March 29, 10:12 AM, Prison Courtyard. You know today who my bet is on? Yeah, I'm still suspecting it was the assassin somehow, but well, we shall find out. The courtyard. Depending on what we find here, the entire incident could become clear. However, there's nothing left here. Yesterday. Isn't there one more possibility? The well in the courtyard. It's possible the body was dropped down from there. In other words, the body being dropped down the well and then moved to the workroom could only have been done during the show. And the only one who could have done it is Simon Keyes. Her logic is still so weird. Was the body dropped down the well or not? And wasn't the well in just full view of everyone? And why would you kill someone backstage during a show when they could very easily call out for help? And yeah, I don't know. Her logic is very weird and flimsy. This could be the decisive clue that we need to reach the truth of the matter. Before I continue with the investigation, I should organise my evidence. Unnecessary evidence has been removed. Hey! Nice. I like when the games do this. Just get rid of the nonsense, because this case is already pretty convoluted. Oh my god, there's still a lot of evidence. Oh god. What did we even get rid of? Oh. But yeah, this is a pretty complex case, so it's nice getting rid of the extra stuff we don't care about. Alright. Let's see here. Hey, there's a grate here. The well is run dry, after all. They even put a lock on it. Lockpicking is one of my specialties. Wanna see? There is absolutely no need for you to show off. Oh, come on. Don't be like that. Whoa! What happened, Kay? The lock is broken. Judging from the looks of it, it feels like it was broken some time ago. So, the lock was broken. This means that anyone could have dropped the body down this well. According to Judge Courtney's reasoning, Mr. Keyes murdered Knightley in the courtyard with the candlestick. And then, during the show, he disposed of the body in the well. You think so? Did he really use the well to move the body? Oh, I know. Let's get Missile to help us out again. He should be able to track the scent of the body. Good idea. Let me contact Detective Gumshoe. Yes, sir. Detective Gumshoe here. Detective, I have a favour to ask of you. We would like for you to bring Missile to the prison courtyard. Sounds like you need the help of one of my 7 secret weapons again, huh, sir? I thought Missile belonged to the police department. And also, I would like for you to contact a witness. Please contact Regina Berry of the Berry Big Circus and bring her here. Oh, do we have to? Roger that, sir. I'll bring them over in a flash. So, what should we do while we wait for Gummy? How about some hide and seek? What are you talking about, Kay? There's nowhere to hide here. I don't think that is the issue. Kay, during times like this, isn't it your turn to shine? Oh, that? You want me to recreate the crime scene? Huh? How do you do that? See for yourself. The Great Thief's secret weapon. Little Thief. I was wondering when we would get to use Little Thief. Whoa, what's that? Screens floating in mid-air. Just what are you doing, Kay? I'm entering the information needed for the simulation. Mr. Shields, this Little Thief, is a tool that can recreate a crime scene based on the information it is given. Should I set it for how this place was like when we came here yesterday? Yes, I believe they were in the middle of taking down the set. We didn't pay enough attention to the well, so it's possible we may have missed a clue. Yeah, I was able to, there was a close-up of the well, but I wasn't able to actually inspect it. Leave it to me. I took a picture of the place too. Oh, nice. There, and there. Data entry complete. Now to set the projection to maximum output. Dark skies of evening, when no other bird dares take wing. One alone remains all-seeing. Now, witness the true power of a real modern-day Robin Hood. What? What just happened? I recreated the courtyard from yesterday, based on the information I entered. This was a tool of the previous Yatagarasu. This was a tool the previous Yatagarasu used. It's a device to run simulations to practice stealing things. But used in this manner, we can inspect the crime scene as it was in the past. Oh, but it's still only a recreation based on what information we have. I can't recreate what I don't have information for, and if my information is incorrect, the recreation could come out strange too. In this case, since Kay had the photo, there should be no problems. Now, let's begin the investigation. You're investigating. Since it's a recreation, you can examine things just like you always do. You can even present evidence when you find a contradiction. Yes, I know. First, I should start with that well. That means I'm going to investigate everything but the well. Ah. This is the stage where they put on the animal show. If I put on a Great Thief show... Oh yeah, we've seen this dialogue from yesterday. I wonder if this is all just reused. Just audience seating, folding up all these chairs, must have been a chore. Okay, yeah, I don't think there's anything new here. Where did Ray go? Did he go hiding because he's scared or something? Oh, here he is. I know. There's the elephant. What was the elephant's name again? She's Astique, the Asian elephant. Ah, that's right. It's an easy name to remember. Maybe they couldn't think of a good name, so they gave her a name that's easy to remember. Mr. Edgeworth, what a terrible thing to say about poor Astique. I don't think it's easy to remember. I've never heard it in my life. Barbed wire. What an impressive barbed wire. Barbed fence? I forgot what she said. This is new dialogue though. I wouldn't touch it though. You'll be in for quite a shock. I wonder what's on the other side of the fence. Looks like the warden's office. I heard she keeps even more animals over there. Why don't they just turn this place into a zoo already? Yeah, I think maybe she should have run a zoo instead of being a prison warden. This pond is where Warden Roland keeps her pet alligator. I guess those fish bones are the remains of her last meal. I don't think an alligator would leave such clean bones. But she had a very refined looking face. I couldn't tell at all. That's because I'm a girl who's good with faces. Why don't I feel the least bit jealous? Cart. Alright, seen this dialogue. I bet she tried to run a zoo but violated too many rules. Like having polar bears out of their cages. Yes. Don't steal my spotlight. He doesn't want his spotlight stolen. Let's talk to people. It'd be nice if we could come up with an alibi for Simon. Do not bring in your personal feelings, or you won't be able to conduct a proper investigation. Information should be collected calmly and swiftly. I see. It's just like how Mr. Edgeworth never shows any emotion when you analyse your opponents with that icy glare. Do I really come across as such a cold person? Bills. Nope, okay. Chisel. Nope. Horace Knightley, age 24, stab wound to the neck, died instantly, sharp metal object. Can't do any autopsy report updating. A great thief's secret weapon. I see. But isn't this bad, using a thief's tool to aid in the investigation? Don't make such a scary face. It's alright. Uncle Ray's lips are sealed. It's for the truth, right? The evidence may very well already have been destroyed. In order to recreate the crime scene, we need her help. Why so serious? At times like this, a simple smile will suffice. Yes, thank you very much. Why so serious, eh? Yeah. Let's examine the area around the well. It holds the key to this case. The well was behind the stage. That means only a few people would have access to dump the body in the well during the performance. Okay, it was hidden by the stage? Okay. Didn't look like it, but I guess the stage was half taken down when we saw it. Hey, King Brolly! This calls for some animal crackers. That sounds nice. Yeah, we don't really have animal crackers here. This isn't looking good for Mr. Keyes. There are some pulleys here. They don't appear to be the pulley that was used to lift the bucket from the well. It's a sturdy hemp rope. It looks like the rope they use for tug-of-wars. I'm not going to play tug-of-war with you. I didn't even say anything yet! There's a metal stake attached to the end of the rope. Oh, you use these to pin down the tent when you go camping. It doesn't seem like they'd need this for the performance. I wonder what it was used for. This is a metal weight. It weighs... It's hard to see in the recreation. Kay, do you remember? I think it was 33 pounds. Alright, apparently that's going to be important. I wonder what such a heavy thing was used for. It doesn't seem to be directly related to the circus. These things around the well, what were they used for? Yeah, we haven't gotten to use the logic button very much this case, so now we're finally getting some of that. They don't seem to be related to the animal show. I agree. We can ask Miss Berry about it later. That's all the information we can gather for now. The detective should be here soon too. Okay, go ahead and shut down Little Thief. Alright, returning the area to normal. Sorry to keep you waiting, sir. Hey, speak of the gummy. Detective Gumshoe. That was quick. I couldn't keep you waiting for too long, sir. Thanks for coming along too, Regina. No problem. It sounded like fun, so I skipped practice to come here. Thank you for your cooperation. First, Detective, let's have Missile do some tracking. No problem, sir. Hey, Missile, over here, pal. Oh. Hey, what's eating you, pal? I said over here. What's the matter? It looks like he's scared of something, sir. Oh. Oh. Alligator! I guess he's scared of the alligator, sir. I mean, that's fair. Good grief. Looks like Missile won't be much help to us. So, what should we do, Miles? Maybe we can ask Miss Berry for help. What is it? What is it? Is there something I can do? Do you want me to teach Allie a trick? Actually, she probably could. No, I just need you to tell me about the condition of the courtyard during the show. Looks like it's my time to shine again. Yes, if you please. Alright, that should do it. I'm starting up the recreation now. We just turned it off. Oh, I see. Recreation complete. This time you can see how the courtyard was during the animal show. This should be around the time the body was dropped down the well. Wow, cool! It's just like magic! It's not magic. I just recreated the scene based on the information he gave us. See? Look over there. The backstage area is missing. Well, Regina didn't help with the preparations, so... she doesn't really know how it was set up. I get it. You can't recreate what you don't have the info for, huh? I'm sorry. It's because Simon took care of setting everything up. Don't worry yourself none, Regina Pie. Miles is the one at fault here. Excuse me? Why me? Mr. Edgeworth, I've recreated the show in progress. But I can also change it to how it was earlier, when it was being taken down. I see. So we can examine the courtyard during the show and after the show. We can freely switch between the two different states. That's cool. To change the recreation, select Little Thief on the bottom screen. Now, let's begin the investigation. That's pretty cool. I want to pat Missile. Aww. As you can see, he's totally scared, sir. I wanted him to track a scent, but it looks like that won't be possible. Someone hug Missile. He's a good boy. Oh, whoops. Oh, try to talk to K. Ah, okay. This button is the K button. Still. Do you still remember how the Little Thief works? Yes. I can basically examine its recreation like I normally do in my investigations. Yes! If something catches your eye, please examine it to your heart's content. Oh, but if there's an error with the info, the recreation could come out a bit strange, alright? If you find anything strange, please present some evidence. I'm still not used to the new feature of the Little Thief. Using the latest feature, we can recreate the same spot at different times. By the way, we can currently recreate the during the show from 2 days ago, and after the show from yesterday. When I want to investigate a different scene, I'll ask her to change recreation. Alright, just tutorial stuff. How many profiles do we have here? A lot. Okay. These chairs are lined up in an orderly fashion. I guess there were a few empty seats during the performance. This intimate atmosphere, and the closeness between the stage and the audience. It reminds me of the karaoke tournament I entered when I was a kid. Karaoke tournament? I was the runner-up. Dark skies of evening, when no other bird dares take wing, one alone remains all-seeing. Now, listen to the song of a real modern-day Robin Hood. Don't tell me, you actually sang that song? Of course, this song rocks! I'm surprised she actually made it to the finals. Did she steal second place? No, if she didn't steal first place, she must have gotten there fair and square. Strange. A little girl having a crime scene recreation device is totally normal in this universe. Yep. This is an interesting universe. Mr. Edgeworth, you've got that look on your face, like you want to use my secret weapon, sir. Hmm? Missile isn't in the mood, but I've got my fishing rod ready to go. Or would you prefer the metal detector? Ooh. Cool. Did you actually charge it this time? I've never seen the detective's eyes sparkle like that. If need be, I'll let you know. For now, just stand by. Do you come here often, Regina? Yes, I have many friends here. I love this place. New friends, old friends, everyone's a friend here. Yesterday, Miss Warden introduced me to a new friend, little Allie. The alligator who lurks in the pond in the courtyard. That pond, if you get too close, it feels like you'll get gold. I don't think little Allie would do such a thing. Her stomach wasn't feeling very well yesterday. I'm worried. Aren't you all worried too? Right? Yes, of course. We're all worried, right, Mr. Edgeworth? Don't drag me into this. Come sure of anything else to say? No? Okay. A love story between an elephant and a tiger. I really wanted to see that. I also wanted to see Simon in action. Simon is really amazing, especially the part where he gets blown away. Blown away. That's the scene in question. At that point, the suspect, in the role of the villain, is blown away by the heroine's burning love, and makes his exit. After being blown away, the suspect disappeared from the stage. Are you saying the crime was committed during that time? Do you know how long he was gone from the stage? Let me think. About 15 minutes or so? It's just as Judge Courtney said. But isn't it dangerous to be blown away by an elephant? It's alright. Astique is very gentle. That's not who we're worried about here. During the first few practices, he was having trouble getting blown away. This is really strange. Then all of a sudden, he was able to be sent flying beautifully. He might be using some sort of device, but it's amazing. A device? Do you know anything about it? Ah, that's what the pulley's for. I have no idea. Simon handled it all by himself. Okay. Oh, this crate was empty in the recreation earlier. That's right. It was also empty in the picture I took. I'm sorry. That information is wrong. What do you mean? This crate contained Astique's food. In the morning on the day of the show, all the apples were gone. I totally forgot about that. I'm sorry. Missing apples, huh? I should make a note of it. That's a lot of apples to go missing. It's the cage of the Asian elephant, Astique. The elephant is performing on stage right now, so the cage is empty. I wonder how Astique entered the courtyard. What do you mean, how? The entrance here is human-sized. And this fence is electrified. I don't think an elephant would enter from there. They could just turn off the electricity. If they did that, all the inmates would escape. I doubt anyone would escape while an elephant was entering. I wonder how she came in. This requires some thought. She seems to be enjoying her little brain teaser. I should just let her be. A great thief's secret weapon. Ah. Same dialogue. Pet alligator. Guess we'd need to go look at the well. At this point in time, we still don't have enough information about this area. That's right, Mr. Edgeworth. Please steal some information. I don't steal information. I obtain it through my investigation and logic. I prefer to act first before thinking. You may act before thinking as long as you don't interfere with the investigation. I wouldn't want to arrest you. Alright, let's swap it to the other state. You want to recreate the after the show scene from yesterday? The after the show scene from yesterday has been recreated. Yeah, I'm not sure there's anything different here. Maybe Regina can fill in some blanks. Pulley. This pulley was used to lift the bucket from the well. The bucket can't be found. No, don't think there's anything different here. Oops, wrong button. I want to use logic. Well, first I'll save. Then we use logic. Ooh, that's a lot of little factoids. Alright, tools around the world, what could they be used for? Simon's stunt. Yeah, I think that's what they were used for. Mr. Keyes used a device for his stunt. Maybe the tools around the well are connected to this. The tools lying around the well. Could they have been a part of his device? It seems very likely. I wonder if it's possible to recreate the device. If you ask Mr. Keyes, he should be able to tell you how the device was put together. All right, I'll go ask him. Mr. Edgeworth, I asked him about it. And did you find out how the device works? He used a rope to hang some weights on the well's pulley. I see. The weights were suspended inside the well. Then he ran the rope through 2 more pulleys and tied the end of the rope to his own body. It sounds like he went down the well. So he uses the force of the falling weights to send himself flying. But what's to stop the weights from falling on their own? In order to prevent that from happening, he used a stopper. Miss Berry didn't know anything about the well. That means Mr. Keyes removed the stopper by himself? Correct! That's why a second rope was needed. This rope was attached to the stopper, and when it was pulled from the stage, the stopper would be removed, and the weights would drop down the well. I'm definitely going to steal this idea. The Yatagarasu won't lose to something like this. Don't waste your time. Circus acts require extensive training. Even if you steal the device, it won't do you any good. Then I'll train as well. Before you start training, could you first update the recreation? Oh yeah, you wanted me to recreate the device that was used in the performance. First, let's return to the during the show scene. Next, I'll input the information of the device on the well. Now, we can recreate the device Simon made. So, this is the device that Mr. Keyes used. Oh, I see. Clever. Simon sure is gutsier than he looks. Okay, so he wouldn't have gone down the well if the grate was still there. Using the falling weights as the force to launch himself during his performance. Indeed, he would have to drop enough weights to exceed his own body weight. In order to provide this strength needed to pull him off the stage. Must exceed his weight. Well, that's 15 kilograms is not enough weight for that. Simon must have practiced a lot for this. I can look at it. Mr. Keyes used this well to perform the stunt where he gets blown away by the elephant. He used those two ropes quite skillfully. Looking at this weight, you can really feel the weight of Simon's hard work on your chest. Is that so? I don't feel anything at all. Aw, that's too bad. If this was an actual weight, I'd immediately put it on your chest, Mr. Edgeworth. And I'd do everything in my power to stop you. This sheet. It's the same as the one from the workroom. Isn't this the same as the one from the workroom? Yes. Why is there also one here? I wonder why there's one here. Huh? Mr. Edgeworth, are you deep in thought? Why does it feel like she's stealing my thoughts? I like the ongoing joke about her stealing his thoughts. A rope and pulley. That's how it should be. A rope and pulley. A thief and treasure. It's a perfect match. Objection. A thief and handcuffs are a perfect match. Alright, well... Each one weighs 33 pounds, 15 kilo. Were there multiple weights? It doesn't seem like there are enough weights there. Huh? Isn't this strange? What's wrong, pal? Haven't you noticed, Detective? What's strange about the weight is... the save file. Hey UED, how are ya? Always glad to see more Ace Attorney? Nice! Yeah, we'll see if we can finish case 2 today. The material! What's strange about the weight is the material it's made of. What's wrong with the material it's made of, sir? So you still don't get it, Detective? I have absolutely no clue, sir. I don't get it either. I don't know either. Mr. Edgeworth, please be more serious. Let me think this over again. So, what's so strange, sir? The number. The weight? It's not heavy enough. Oh, wait. That was the right answer. When they kind of mean the same thing, the number and the weight. Yeah. Reload. I'll see what happens if I pick the other answer. Long, tiring day, so finally time to relax. Yeah, I'm glad you get to relax now. Hopefully tomorrow is more relaxing for you. What did I pick? The weight? The number. What's strange is the number of weights. In other words... Oh, they both lead the same way. Good. It's not heavy enough. In order to pull up Mr. Keyes' body weight... You're right, sir. But where did the rest of the weights disappear to? Looks like it's time to use my 7 secret weapons, sir. If necessary, I'll let the detective know. Mr. Edgeworth. Metal detector. Oh, okay. I want to use the metal detector! What? Well, assuming these weights are made of metal, we can find out where the rest of them are. The metal detector! Detective Gumshoe, it's time for your secret weapon. Yes, sir! I was hoping for the metal detector. Oh, I don't get many chances to use this one. Before we begin the search, let me go over how to use the metal detector, sir. Do I get to use that too? This metal detector uses sound. And this meter to let you know how close you are to a metal object. When you get closer to a metal object, the metal detector will have a bigger reaction, like this. When you get to the biggest reaction... I mean, I know how metal detectors work. Give me the order to examine that spot, sir. Now, let's see what we've got. It's just a metal fence. And that's basically how you search for metal objects. Just give me the instructions on where you want to search, sir. I'm basically controlling Gumshoe. That's cool. Examine here, there's nothing here. No reaction, sir. Seems a little discouraging, huh? What about the pond? We're getting close, sir. There should be something metal nearby. Yeah, there's a reaction here too, sir. Let's check it out. Huh? I found these in the clumps of grass here, sir. These are the weights used for that hoisting device. Were these intentionally hidden? There's 4 of them in all, sir. That many weights would be enough to lift Simon. So, the other weights that were used in the device were hidden. Why were they hidden over here, though? See? I'm really earning my keep today, aren't I, sir? Eek! Oh, the alligator! Bloody alligator. It's very scary. That scared me, pal. Huh? What's the matter, detective? It looks like the metal detector is reacting to this alligator. Oh no, did it eat one of the weights? Really? Why? Oh. I did say it had a sore stomach. Are you sure it isn't still just reacting to the weights? It's a different reaction, sir. And it's definitely coming from the alligator. It's gone. Looks like it's scared of us. I don't think so, Kay. Huh? If anything, I think Ellie looks a little under the weather. Ellie. I suppose that was what Warden Roland called it. She didn't eat any of the food that the warden gave her yesterday. I think she might have eaten something bad. So I guess the metal detector could be reacting to whatever the alligator ate. Oh, maybe she ate one of the weights. I doubt that even an alligator can ingest a 33-pound weight. Yeah, that's true. They're kind of heavy. Sure didn't have a sweet tooth. But what could the metal detector be reacting to? And regardless, why were these weights hidden? Maybe we should take another look at the device on the well. Kay, I'd like you to recreate the after the show scene again. All right, leave it to me. We do have apples missing, but I don't think it ate apples because they're not metal. Missile! I want to hug Missile. Missile deserves hugs. I want to talk to Gumshoe. Mr. Edgeworth, I just had an epiphany, sir. The killer is... Eureka! The Invisible Man! Oh. Somehow, the killer brought in a murder weapon and moved the body, and nobody noticed. If the Invisible Man was the killer, it would explain how all of this was possible. Detective, you can't be serious about that. I'm not totally sure, but it'd be neat if it were true. Starting tomorrow, you're pairing up with Mr. DeBest. No way, sir. Not with that goofy prosecutor. He'd be a perfect match for this goofy detective. There are some pulleys here. Metal weight. I guess I've got to deduce something. What have we got now? Logic. Steaks, apples. Do I need to connect those two? Just be like, hey, maybe a steak just ate them all. I mean, I'll try just to make sure. I don't think it's connected to anything, but maybe the apples are the sweet scent that keeps getting mentioned. Maybe Astig ate all the apples. I don't think it's actually this, just making sure. The apples in the crate were probably eaten by Astig. But it's strange. I remember leaving the crate out of reach from Astig's nose. Are you certain? Yes, the crate was still full of apples on the night before the show. Then the cart was moved to where her nose could reach it. Okay. With that many apples, it could not have been moved by the wind. Most likely, the crate was moved by a person. Okay, sure. Prior to the show, the cart's position was already changed and the apples were all eaten. This appears to be the correct information. Please update the simulation parameters, Kay. Alright, I'll use the new info to recreate the scene. First, let's return to the during the show scene. Using the info we got from Regina, I'll recreate the scene with the cart in its actual place. Not sure where we're going with this. Recreation complete. No wonder I thought it smelled like animals. It contained the elephant's food. So this was filled with Astig's apples. That's right. On the day before the show, it was full of apples. and in the morning they were all gone. Oh, did you think of something? You could say that. Well, that's the only bit of logic we have left, I think. Never played this game, everything's new to you? Nice. Yeah, I haven't seen this game myself, so... Fun little adventure. Alright. Okay, this we need the other version. Change your creation. Alright, needed to do something. I'm not even going to bother going for a game over here. I don't feel like there's any unique ones in this case. So I am currently thinking that after he set it up, then someone replaced some of the weights with the body. And so he actually ended up lowering the body down the well without knowing. That's what I'm thinking. It would have to be someone who knew exactly how this trick worked, though. Man, he really does look suspicious, doesn't he? The deuce. Not sure what I'm deducing. Bloodstained sheet. And the body was wrapped in... not sure if this is what I need to deduce. Oh, whoops. Try. Yeah, one of these sheets was used. Nope, apparently not. Could you be more precise about where the contradiction is? I'd also like to hear you explain it in more detail, sir. Around here somewhere. Please be more specific, sir. This device. It could be just me, but it feels like something is missing. Ah, is it the other end of the rope? The other rope? There were two ropes, right. Yeah, the other rope's missing. Okay. Oh, yep, rope. I forgot about rope. Oh, no? Okay. I think I figured it out, I'm just not sure what to present where. Yeah, there was that rope. Where exactly am I presenting it? Yeah, I figured it out. The rope was used to lower the body down and the sheet was used as like a hammock. But, how do I get on the same wavelengths as the game? Oh, is this the murder weapon? Do we know for sure that chisel was the murder weapon? Do we absolutely know that for a fact? This bell, it's the same as the one that's attached to Anubis' collar. Yes, it's the assassin Dogen's trademark. An assassin with a trademark? What an odd combination. Don't you think it's similar to the great thief Yatagarasu? Mr. Edgeworth, you don't understand anything. A great thief has to stand out. Why would a thief want to stand out? Dogen hid this chisel inside his dog's mouth. Could this be the murder weapon of this case? I can't say for certain. However, traces of blood were found on the chisel. At the very least, it is not unrelated to the case. Anything here? No? Okay. Okay, pointing out the contradiction. Now, how do I put all these pieces together in a way that flows with the game? Uses... Oh, okay, I think I'm just showing this with this to show that one of the weights... sorry, one of the ropes is gone. Oh, one of the pulleys is gone too. Okay. This recreation and the device we saw earlier. There is a major discrepancy. One of the ropes is missing. You're right. Without it, the device won't work. I wonder what happened to it. Where did the missing rope disappear to? Yeah, the alligator must have eaten the other pulley. Why would the pulley have been hidden over there, though? It's possible that we hold the piece of evidence that shows where the rope went. Yes, yeah, we have a rope. Eh? Which piece of evidence shows where the missing rope went? Clearly my badge. Does that show where the missing rope went, sir? Yes. So, where's the missing rope? Mr. Edgeworth, why aren't you saying anything? Gah, it seems I was mistaken. Speaking of ropes, didn't we see one somewhere? I remember seeing one too, sir. I'm actually just going to reload because I've lost a lot of health already. Every suspicious looking crook and granny. That line from the best from that previous segment, it still cracks me up. It's such a good line. We already investigated that room. Every suspicious crook and granny. The rope we found with the dead body. Oh! Could it be? Yes, it could be the other piece of rope that was used here. Then, does that mean this rope was attached to the weight? However, the weight was not one of these metal weights. These weights were hidden in the grass and replaced with something else. Now I'm going to have to point out what it was. Really impressed with the music in this game so far. It's just all the Ace Attorney games have really good music, to be honest. If they were replaced, then what was used as the weight? What was tied to the rope we found in the workroom? If we can recall that, then the answer should be clear. The weight that was dropped in place of the weights that Mr. Keyes had prepared was... That's an awkward sentence. I have trouble saying that one. What was the rope tied around? Was it tied around the body itself? Go straight for the body. What dropped down the well was none other than Knightley's dead body. Mr. Knightley's body was used as the weight? Yes, the weights were replaced with Knightley's body. Mr. Keyes used the device to launch himself off the stage. When the rope that was tied to him was undone and let go. Both the body and the rope dropped down the well. The rope wasn't used to tie up Knightley. It was used to suspend him inside the well. That also explains why the other weights were hidden. Hello, sweetie. Meow to you too. Cleo's here looking for her food. Ah, so that no one would find out that the weights were replaced with the body. Yes, the killer was the one who hid those weights. But Miles, wasn't Knightley Boy stabbed in the neck with the murder weapon? If he was suspended in the well, wouldn't there be blood at the bottom of the well? The killer was also aware of that. That's why they used this item. Which item did the killer use in order to leave no traces of blood behind? My bad. Uncle Ray doesn't quite follow. If he used that, how would it prevent the blood from falling? Don't you get it, Mr. Shields? If it were used like this... Miles, that's not possible. Gah! This isn't the right one. A tool to prevent the blood from falling. The sheet. The sheet we found near the body. It was used to wrap up the body. I see! It looks like all the pieces are starting to come together, eh? But this means that the body definitely came from the well. If that's the case, wouldn't that mean Simon is the killer? No, that's not necessarily the case. Eh? But yesterday Judge Courtney said... If Mr. Keyes was the killer, would he have needed to set up such an elaborate device? I guess you have a point. Mr. Keyes was only responsible for dropping the body during the show. In other words, it doesn't matter where the real killer was or what they were doing during the show. Until now, this placed the doubt on the people who did not watch the show. It's true, we also suspected Mr. Dogan. The killer's true intent was to make us think that the murder occurred during the show. In other words, they used a device on the well to create a fake alibi. Miss Berry, do you know when this device on the well was set up? A fake alibi, eh? This is all very confusing. Let me think. The day before the show. I think it was at night. We all started preparing at 9 PM. We finished at around midnight. The killer replaced the weights with the dead body afterwards. Alright, so we've been going with the assumption that he was killed after 7 AM because his body wasn't found in the room. But yeah, this moves his time of death back quite a bit. Did Dogan know about the device? No. Even if he knew about the device, it wouldn't be possible for him to use it. You can't teach a dog to suspend a body in a well.
Shall we dance?
Hey, American. Welcome. Thanks for the host. In other words, Dogan is not the killer. Okay. Right. Right, where do we go from here? Nothing new there. The Invisible Man. What logic do we have? Weight switched with body and crate of apples. Somebody moved the apples on the night before the show, and that's the same time as this happened. These must be connected somehow? This cart was moved the night before the show. The body was also switched the night before the show. I don't think it was just a coincidence. Keeping that in mind, the question now becomes, why was the cart moved? The cart used to be in front of that door. I can think of one reason why. Somebody opened that door! Alright, let's hurry up and... The door's locked. Let's ask a guard. Hey, Mr. Guard! Yes, what is it? That was fast. You there, where's the key to this door? The warden's in charge of it. I'll get it from her right away. The warden is in charge of the keys here. Without the warden's permission, this door can't be opened. Thank you very much. Oh, hey. It's a circuit breaker panel. This must be the breaker room. The security cameras went off for a while, so... Needlessly complicated and convoluted. Ace Attorney in a nutshell. Yup. On the night before the show, somebody came into this room. I wonder why they would come in here. I don't think anyone would confuse the breaker room with the break room. It was definitely to operate the circuit breakers. That was pretty funny, Edgeworth. So someone came here to shut off the power to something? Was there anything that had its power shut off? Save! What could have had its power shut off by the breaker? Rubber gloves. If this had been powered off, it would have caused a huge problem. A huge problem? I don't see any problems. Cast aside your preconceptions. Try thinking with an open mind. In doing so, you will see an answer that exceeds your wildest imagination. Okay. I'm not seeing anything. At all. Ugh. It seems I was mistaken. When the breaker tripped, the electrical equipment would have lost power. Is there any evidence that can prove this? He's learning how to bluff from Nick, I think. I think security footage is what I'm showing. Yeah. The security camera footage had a 3-hour gap. Oh, I see. The circuit breaker for the security camera was tripped. It's highly possible. Was this the killer's handiwork? With the camera down, it'd be easier to move about. The killer would have had a major advantage. I knew it! If that's the case, the killer was the person who tripped the breaker. The person in charge of the key to the breaker room is... It couldn't be. Why would she kill him? Deactivating the recreation. So what's her connection to Knightley? Oh god. I'm first to the scene, as always. Good morning, Mr. DeBest. What? You? How did you get here before me? We've been here for ages. Slept in, did you? Greetings, Prosecutor Edgeworth. I see you have arrived early. Or maybe it is you who are late, Judge Courtney. I have many matters which require my attention. I have no time to waste. Unlike a certain prosecutor who was taken off the case. Oh, my apologies. I have forgotten that you were assisting the defense attorney. An assistant can never be the best. You've fallen like the rest. You just say whatever you like, don't you? Let us begin our examination of the courtyard, Sebastian. All right, I'll call the men over. That will be unnecessary. What? We have already finished the investigation of the courtyard. You've been bested. Oh. Zinger. Zinger. Even when wrong, he tries so hard to justify his answer. Yes, he really does, doesn't he? Bested? Me? Judge Courtney. Your reasoning from yesterday. Watch me shatter it to pieces. I would advise you to choose your words more carefully. Have you forgotten that the fate of your badge rests in my hands? Shut up, we know, we know. Like, threatening him is obviously not working at this point. I have had enough of such coercion. Can't you think of some other way to threaten me that does not involve my badge? Edgy's done with it too. That does not involve my badge. Despite my repeated warnings, you show no signs of reflection. It seems I must remind you once more. The Prosecutorial Investigation Committee can't leave someone such as yourself unchecked. Neither the fate of my badge nor the actions of the committee will impede my progress. Proving Mr. Keyes' innocence. That is all that concerns me. Your words are like those of a defense attorney. If you are willing to go that far, then I will show no leniency. In the name of the Goddess of Law, I shall turn your words against you. And at that moment, you will forfeit the title of prosecutor. You shall regret this. Judge Courtney's reasoning. I shared my reasoning with you the day before. Since Mr. Elbird did not see the body when he passed through the tunnel, it could only have been dropped down the well during the show. The only one who could have performed such an act is the suspect. Naturally, you have evidence to support your reasoning. Of course she does. Who do you think she is? Earlier, I received the official autopsy report. Ah, they're updating the autopsy report. Babysitting that kid must be difficult. The time of death was the night before the body was discovered. In other words, the day before the show. The cause of death remains unchanged. A stab wound 4 inches deep. Simon Keyes was not present on the stage for a period of 15 minutes. There was sufficient time for him to drop the body down the well. She has not investigated the courtyard yet. That means... It seems there is a hole in your argument. You seem quite confident. Can you present evidence to support your claim? Of course I can, and I will. Really like her design? Yeah, it's pretty cool. There's some good designs in with these new characters. There's the cat alarm. Cat alarm. Where's the cat? Where's the cat? The cat alarm's going off. Hello, cat. Where is she? Where is she? Cleo! Did you not hear it, sweetie? Hello? Did you not hear it? Aww. Hello, baby. Alright, gonna feed the cat. It's cat food time. And I'll take about a 10-minute break, go to the bathroom and get some more water and stuff. And feed this little cat, of course. Give you all some music to listen to while I'm gone. Oops. I muted my mic too early. Okay, alright, I shall be back. Alright, I am back. Fade out the music. And hi, I'm back. Now, time to show Judge Courtney what we've learned. I shared my reasoning with you the day before. Been yesterday? So, you continue to believe Mr. Keyes is the murderer, just as you continue to speak as if he is not. Do you have any decisive evidence? Do you know the identity of the true criminal? You do realise you need proper evidence too. I am a representative of the Goddess of Law. My words are her holy orders. Indeed, if I state something is black, it is black. If I state something is white, it is white. That's not how court works. So what would you call grey? If you wish to disprove my words, then present your evidence at once. Thanks, Lauren. You're playing Ori 2 via Game Pass at the moment. Keep your thoughts to yourself. Okay, no worries. Yeah, I've heard mixed things about that. I've heard the gameplay is good, but I've heard depressing things about the story and theming. Yeah, I'll play it eventually. Since Mr. Elbird did not see the body when he passed through the tunnel, couldn't it be possible that Elbird just failed to notice the body? Miss Assistant's assistant, did you also enter the hole? Huh? How'd you know? I noticed that there was some mud stuck on your lovely hair ornament yesterday. That's amazing! Your powers of observation would even put a great thief to shame. In the name of the Goddess of Law, answer me truthfully. If there were a dead body in that tunnel, would it have escaped your notice? Well, the thing is... yeah, I think I would have noticed something like that. Do you understand now? Mr. Elbird did not see the body. It could only have been dropped down the well during the show. The body was dropped down the well during the show. I'd like to hear your reasoning for this. The day before the show, Mr. Elbird lent the key to Mr. Knightley. The key to Knightley's cell, huh? Mr. Knightley escaped from his cell with the key and entered the cage Mr. Keyes had repaired. Mr. Keyes then moved the cage to the courtyard and proceeded to murder Mr. Knightley. The next day, when Mr. Elbird passed through the tunnel, he did not come across the body. Please wait a minute, that doesn't seem right at all. Wasn't there a sweet smell in the tunnel? Mr. Knightley must have passed through it. Mr. Knightley passed through the tunnel after Mr. Elbird did. Mr. Elbird passed through the tunnel at the start of the show. However, the body wasn't found until the end of the show. Which is why you believe the body was dropped during the show. Yes, and there is only one person who could have carried out this act. The only one who could have performed such an act is the suspect. There is no one else who could have committed the murder. I heard that Miss Berry was present on stage at all times. A great number of the prisoners were also watching the show. Even the prisoners who did not see it have sufficient alibis. How about the guards? Along with the warden, nearly everyone was watching the show. But there must have been a chance for even one of them to approach the well. During the show, none of the guards left their posts. That much is certain. They all testified as such. Oh, well, if they said they didn't leave their posts, then they mustn't have. Ugh. She's left no room for oversight. Do you finally admit that only Simon Keyes could have been the criminal? Judge Courtney has not thoroughly examined the courtyard like we have. So there's a bit of a gap in her argument, right? I should review the evidence we obtained in the courtyard. Okay, so how do I present this? That's the question. Well, first I present my badge. Judge Courtney, there is a contradiction in your testimony. I cannot authorize this statement. And why not? Because it's obvious you're bluffing. Is that the impression I give off? Next time, for sure, I will present evidence that will silence her for good. If she's got any more dialogue on that line. No, that one's the same. They usually have multiple different... Judge Courtney, don't you have a problem with that statement just now? Should I have a problem with it? Exactly, because there's no problem at all. In that case, you should have refrained from speaking in the first place. I don't think that left a good impression. That sounds like something Nick would have said. The back and forth about how there's no problem at all. Okay. So... yeah, just present the device. Unfortunately for you, Judge Courtney, your argument doesn't hold any water, just like the well. Ooh, there was a device set up around the well here. What is this device of which you speak? Are you aware of the stunt in which Mr. Keyes is blown away by the elephant during the show? I have heard of it. It would have been right before he exits the stage. He tied one end of a length of rope to himself, and the other end to a set of weights. He was able to perform the stunt by dropping these weights down the well. Wouldn't he have spent the whole play suspended up in the air? That's why he had a stopper attached to the weighted end. The stopper was removed by pulling another rope. Around the well, we found evidence that the weights were switched with the victim's body. This was done by the real killer in order to shift suspicion away from them. Judging from the time of death, the murder was carried out in the early morning of the show. The true criminal had until the time the show started to set up the device. But didn't Simon Keyes make that thing? And since he was also the one who used it, he is the best suspect. Don't you agree? If Mr. Keyes were the murderer, he would not have needed to do that. Miss Berry. Yes? Was there anyone else who knew of the device he set up? Well, let me see. Since we had to get everything about our show approved by the people here at the prison, I'd say there were others who knew about it. And there you have it. I see. You have indeed performed a thorough investigation, which is why I am even further perplexed. Why do you not use your efforts for justice? My actions are not just. Who made that decision? You cannot understand even that, even now. Providing support to a defense attorney, despite being a prosecutor? It is quite unnatural. This goes against the rules. I am merely choosing to do what I think is right at this particular time. I travel down the road I have chosen. Your comprehension does not matter in the least. However, if anyone intends to interfere, I will show no mercy. What? He's gonna kill her. Perhaps this is a calling from the goddess of law. If you intend to rebel against her divine will, I will have no choice but to hand down my verdict. Pay heed to my words. I have one more reason to suspect Simon Keyes of murder. Oh God, what you got now? Reason for suspicion. If the body came from the courtyard, how was Mr. Knightley brought here from the detention centre? Only Simon Keyes could have provided such an opportunity. Because of this fact, I find it most difficult to suspect any other party of this crime. While Simon Keyes was moving supplies for the show, he visited Mr. Knightley's cell. Yeah, so I think Simon was trying to help him escape. Does that not strike you as odd? Why else would he have brought a large covered cage with him? Oh, that does seem pretty suspicious. Mr. Keyes was merely that kind of person. It is entirely possible that he carelessly brought it there. If that is possible, then it is also possible that he was assisting in the escape. Am I wrong? I suppose I must refute her theory with evidence. If the body came from the courtyard, you seem to believe that Knightley was killed in the courtyard. So, can you say when he was brought here? On the day of the show, between midnight and 8 AM. I am positive it could only have been during that time. So after rehearsal had ended and before the show began. The most pressing issue is, how was Mr. Knightley brought here from the detention centre? Are you certain there were no other routes? A trial date had not yet been determined for Mr. Knightley. Since he was not a prisoner, he could not have easily entered the prison. It would have stood out too much. Meaning no one testified seeing him there. Well done! May you be blessed by the goddess of law. As I said, Mr. Knightley was taken into the prison through a less conspicuous manner. Only Simon Keyes could have provided such an opportunity. Are you certain that he was the only person who had the opportunity? Have you forgotten? This is a prison. Due to the constant supervision, it would be impossible to do anything unusual. Then wouldn't it be the same for Mr. Keyes? The warden has shown favour to the Berry Big Circus. Simon Keyes is a circus member, Miss Berry's apprentice no less. It could only have been him. He was able to move about freely within the facility. It seems that you forgot to mention that. The word forget does not exist in my dictionary. Then it would be prudent for you to add this to your argument. Mr. Keyes may have been the only person who could move around freely in the prison. But on the day of the murder, there was a gap in time missing from the surveillance records. During that time, anyone could have done as they pleased. Do I have proof of this gap in the surveillance records? It's my badge. Here's the evidence. What do you think, Sebastian? Let me think here. Since all humans have 2 legs, anyone could have walked around the place. However, However, to walk around a prison freely is not going to be that easy. Even the best pointed out my mistake. Seems you learn quickly, Hedgeworth. Who are you calling Hedgeworth? Her claim is based on the prison's surveillance system. I just need to present evidence that will make it seem less reliable. Which part was that? This one. Okay. Because of this fact, I find it most difficult to suspect any other party of this crime. No other suspects? Are you serious? If I had to say, Miss Berry also seems suspicious. What? But I didn't do anything like that. Regina, you do know you were being suspected of murder, right? Yeah, but I didn't do it. It would take much more than that to scare a wild animal tamer. I know you did not. It was merely a jest. Oh, really? That's what I figured. These two don't look jovial in the least. Mr. Keyes was not the only one with the opportunity. If I can prove that with evidence, I can break this deadlock. Get back up to this part. Objection and overruled. Yep, there we go. Back and forth. Mr. Keyes wasn't the only one who had the opportunity. Who else could have had the opportunity? The timestamp on the security camera is off by 3 hours. This means there was a 3-hour gap in time. During that time, anyone could have done it. If that were the case, then the murderer would have created the gap in time intentionally. It would not have been a simple camera failure. Are you saying that is possible? It's possible if you had access to this. My badge. So with that, they could have created the gap in time? Yes. With this, it would be possible. Just by showing people my badge. Out of the question. How can you say that? Then please demonstrate how it is possible for yourself. That would be impossible. If the cameras were stopped, it would be possible to create a gap in the recording. I should know how it was done. So, it would be impossible to intentionally create this gap in time, am I right? You're wrong, Judge Courtney. In this courtyard, we found the circuit breaker for the security camera. And it was possible to access the breaker room both before and after the murder. What? Unfortunately, it appears that you have fallen short of your intentions. Mr. Edgeworth hasn't fallen short of anything. So, can you explain how the murderer obtained the key to the breaker room? Oh yeah, that's right. It was locked, wasn't it? The warden hangs onto the key, right? The breaker room has great importance, even in a prison. There is no one who would be able to obtain the key so easily. Well, I can think of someone. Now I've got to point out who did it. Yeah, Pyre's Ace Attorney emotes are really good, aren't they? What did you say? This person, the murderer, was able to get the key. They didn't even need to steal it. There can't be anyone like that. Besides, the breaker to the electrified fence is in that room too. Only one person could have done this. I didn't want to believe it myself, but I trust that my logic is sound. The person who used the key to enter the breaker room is Simon DeBest. Sorry, Sebastian DeBest. What? That person had the key? Yes, it could only have been them. Mr. Edgeworth, please cease this careless talk. How was this person able to obtain the key? I suppose it wasn't this person. I need to remember who normally holds on to this key. That person should immediately come to mind. See, it's just like I said earlier. There's no one who could have gotten their hands on that key. No, Mr. DeBest. There is just one person who could have. Yeah, I have no idea why she would do it. The warden. The murderer is Warden Roland. Oh my, what an energetic little puppy. That's because this dog is extremely fond of sweets. It seems to detect a sweet scent on you. Oh, heavens no. I'm not even wearing perfume or anything of the sort. What the dog detects is the sweet scent of death. How poetic! However, does that not imply that I committed the murder? That's what I think. What? The warden is the murderer. Mr. Edgeworth, are you serious about your statement? Oh, how amusing. The very thought of a warden committing a murder. Oh god, little fox is so cute. It sounds like something out of a mystery novel. Precisely. Your reasoning is in contempt. Nothing of the sort. I did not want to believe it myself, but based on the evidence, I have no choice but to believe it. This evidence proves that Warden Roland is the murderer. Oh, okay. It's probably my badge. This proves you are the murderer. Treating me like a criminal just because of that is so cruel. It doesn't even have anything to do with me. No, that wasn't it. Missle's reaction to Warden Roland earlier. What was the cause of it? I need to let that guide me to the answer. And I saved my game. So the apples have to come into it at some point here. Whole thing with the apples and the sweet scent. I suppose your accusation was nothing more than a joke in poor taste after all. No, it was not, Warden Roland. You are the murderer. Then why don't you show us the evidence? Okay. It is the bucket from the well. Would she have had access to the chisel? Died from a stab to the neck. Is there anything here? So was it really just a coincidence that those two were connected? Weird. Don't know if I believe that, but alright. There's gotta be more to that. So she helped in the search of the prison, but did not find the murder weapon. It was hidden in the dog's mouth though, so I don't know if that would have had anything to do with her. A sweet scent. Now, I'm not following with this sweet scent. Because she moved the thing of apples? I don't know, that seems a bit of a stretch. Could be something to do with the apples, but there's nothing here to present related to those except for the breaker, so I'll try the breaker. That doesn't seem right. Nope, okay, that's not right. Has a sweet scent. So I'm wondering if the body was transported via that cart at some point, as to why it has a sweet scent. I mean, am I just presenting the body that the smell's the same? Is that what I'm... maybe that's just what I'm doing? Yeah. I was overthinking it. By a lot. The smell gave you away. As you can plainly see, someone has taken notice. This police dog... He tracked a sweet smell that came from the body. And right now, he is telling us that the same scent is also on Warden Roland. You're a cruel one to accuse me of murder based on something like that. Right, Justine, darling? It appears that Judge Courtney has reached the same conclusion as I have. Mr. Edgeworth, this couldn't have been just a coincidence, could it? The key to the breaker room and the same scent on the body. If it were only one, it could have been seen as such. It appears we have reached a conclusion. We should now listen to what the warden has to say. Indeed, until we do, we cannot close this case. Oh my goodness, everyone with such scary faces. So I'm the only one who could have been the murderer? That just cannot be. Why I can't be the killer? I heard all about the case from Justine Darling here. Had I committed the murder, it would have taken place inside the holding cell. But I couldn't have moved the body. I never went into the prison. I was caught up in my work. Up until the show, I was stuck in my office. Check up on it if you like. You'll find there's no record of me entering the prison. I don't know what reasoning you had, but I can say for sure, I cannot be the killer. But Missile barked at you, pal. You've got to be the culprit. Heavens, it's not possible. I already told you, I never went to the prison. If you think I'm lying, why don't you check the records? She wants us to check the records. She does seem confident. For now, all we can do is listen to her and try to draw out more information. I do hope you understand, Mr. Edgeworth. I heard all about the case from Justine Darling here. From Judge Courtney. Are you two close? As close as fish in water. Are you jealous? Jealous? On the first day of the investigation, she filled us in on the situation. In exchange for our cooperation, she explained the details of the case to us. How could you say that? You're so mean, Justine Darling. The truth is the truth. I believe it should be told as such. For some reason, those two seem kind of scary. Had I committed the murder, it would have taken place inside the holding cell. The murder occurred inside the cell. How can you be so certain about that? Well, everywhere else would be under surveillance, right? And the victim's blood was found there too. That blood was actually from when he was struck by Elbird, but I don't think it's necessary to inform her of this fact. That doesn't mean it's proven. You do know that. But I see no contradictions in assuming the crime scene was at the detention center. But I couldn't have moved the body. I never went into the prison. You never went into the prison? Do you have proof of this? My, can't you wait for me to finish? I was caught up in my work. Up until the show, I was stuck in my office. You were in your office the whole time. Nothing strange happened? Nope, nothing at all. Were you looking for something? I'm not too good at tidying up. I always forget where I put everything. The other day, I even lost track of an important piece of evidence. How could you have made such a grave error? If someone were to take something from me, I wouldn't even notice it the entire year. I guess it would be hard to attack with the key to the breaker room. She's a prison warden! You're mad! On the day of the incident, I was working in my office and searching for lost items. In other words, I couldn't have gone to the prison, even if I had wanted to. Check up on it if you like. You'll find there's no record of me entering the prison. Knightley was suspended from the well the night before the show. Well, what should we do, sir? This lady's got nerves of steel. But there's no record of her going to the prison, is there? The records won't help us at the present time. First, let's listen carefully and gather information. I forgot to press that last statement. Check up on it if you like. You'll find there's no record of me entering the prison. You did not enter the prison from the entrance. But what if there was another route? Oh my, are you suggesting something like a secret passage? I don't know if anything like that exists. It is my firm belief you did possess an alternate route. Let me save. I mean, couldn't she have just gone through the... I guess the fence is electrified. That route was neither the entrance nor a secret passage. The route you used was from here. Did she know about the tunnel he was digging? I wonder if she knew about it. We'll get it wrong first. From the passageway. You moved through here to enter the prison. Oh my! Now how would I have got to the prison from there? Mr. Edgeworth, you yourself said that I used neither the entrance nor a secret passage. This wasn't the right route. To get to the prison from the warden's office without using the entrance or tunnel, the only way possible is by going through that place. Through the garden? How? How did she go through the garden? Isn't that fence electrified? Well, I'll try it and see what happens. The barbed wire fence? You would have moved nightly to your office first. This office leads directly to the garden side of the courtyard. If you had moved through here and past the barbed wire fence, you would have arrived at the prison without passing through the entrance or a tunnel. I wonder what Mr. Edgeworth is saying. Haven't you noticed? There's a high voltage current running through the fence. Yeah, obviously she couldn't have passed through it like that. The current to the fence could be switched off at the breaker room. And you were the only one who had the key, Warden Roland. Most amusing. However, the breaker room is located on the prison side of the courtyard. How would the warden have accessed it from the detention centre? Oh, quite right. Gotcha there, Mr. Edgeworth. That's... If there is no record of her passing through the prison entrance, it would not have been possible for her to turn off the fence's breaker. But Warden Roland was the only one who had access. Don't let this faze you, Miles. But if I don't have a solution for this, she'll get away. Now, Uncle Ray never said don't think, you know. It's just not good to be so stubborn about it, that's all. But no matter how you think about it, Warden Roland couldn't have done this alone. Prosecutor Edgeworth, if you have failed to come up with a new I am not amused, interrupting my judgment only to be silent. Without thinking, I just blurted out objection. I have to answer. I won't let this end here. Can't save my game. I hoped to come up with something while I was objecting, but I didn't. My reasoning is not over yet. So, how did she use the breaker without leaving the detention centre? It's perfectly possible with this method. What made it possible to turn off the breaker? Accomplice is the only thing that makes sense, I think. Her position as the warden. Her position as the warden made it possible. So I was able to use the breaker from the detention centre because I am the warden. In that case, I'd have to be not just a warden, but a psychic as well. That wasn't right. It would be difficult for Warden Roland to use the breaker alone, which means it was indeed impossible for the warden to have used the breaker. No, there was one way she could have done it. An accomplice. The timing of the incident. The timing of the incident made it possible. The timing of the incident tripped the breaker. Indeed. That logic. So, just how was the breaker tripped? As I thought, you have no idea. It wasn't that. Reload. Given this universe, her being a psychic is possible. Yeah. Honestly, yes. I mean, we have spirit mediums. Why not psychics? Honestly, the Megatama is kind of a psychic thing, isn't it? That would count as a psychic object, psychic power. An accomplice. It was indeed impossible for one person. But what if there were two? Exactly! Just what I expected from you, Miles. Yes, you had an accomplice on the prison side. Enough. I am disappointed in you, Prosecutor Edgeworth. What's that, pal? You making fun of Mr. Edgeworth? The inmates at this prison all wear bracelets. If they try and go where they please, they will set off the alarm. Oh! So you've noticed. This is a prison after all. Not only the prisoners, but the guards too, are under constant scrutiny. So why didn't anyone notice Elbird? The only ones allowed to move around freely are the animals. And they certainly could not have used the breaker. But it's still possible that a person did. Excluding the inmates and the guards, just what kind of person would you say it was? We can't exclude the inmates and guards just yet. There was only one person. One whose movement was not restricted. Oh dear. Ruh-roh. This evidence shows that there was someone in the prison who could move around freely. My badge. This evidence points to the existence of that person. Well then, I'd like you to explain just who this points to. Mr. Edgeworth, why aren't you saying anything? It seems he doesn't know after all. She saw through me. Someone whose movement wasn't restricted. Wasn't there someone who tried to hide that from us? Indeed, and we must find the evidence that implicates them. It would seem that the warden's supposed accomplice does not exist after all. No, Judge Courtney, there remains one person. Bloody saw it. That is... It looks like the bracelet worn by the prisoners. This belongs to a certain model inmate, and it's broken. What? Just who on earth does this belong to? Frank saw it. The warden's favourite inmate. Oh! Don't you think it's strange? He managed to keep this hidden while he moved around freely in his daily prison life. Golly, when you think about it, it shouldn't be possible. I'd hazard a guess that this was because he was a special case. Just like Sirhan Dogan in the special cell. The prosecutor's statement is mere conjecture. You could find out by simply asking Sorit himself. It is my firm belief that Mr. Sorit and Warden Roland were partners in crime. Due to their collaboration, another route surfaces. The real route by which Knightley's body was moved to the prison. There were two obstacles that needed to be dealt with. The security camera in front of Knightley's cell, and the electric fence in the courtyard. Both these problems could have been solved with a single stroke. Okay, I'm gonna have to figure out what it is. Badge, always the correct bluff. By having Sorit switch off the breakers in the breaker room. Oh, never mind. Mr. Edgeworth, could you wait one moment? Do you still intend to deny it, Warden Roland? Oh, I give in. I confess. Warden Roland! No, this cannot be. Yes, it's just as he says. Frank Sorit and I were partners in crime. She's going to confess to something else, isn't she? No way! You did it, Mr. Edgeworth! Well done, Miles. At last, we have the real culprit cornered. Like Mr. Edgeworth said, Frankie operated the breaker. But we were not responsible for Knightley's murder. What? Warden Roland, whatever do you mean? Judge Courtney, would the Goddess of Law hear my confession? The Goddess of Law is merciful. She will absolve you. I was being threatened. That's why I had no choice but to do as I was told. So, who was threatening you? Sirhan Dogan, that assassin. Dogan? It's been going on since that man came to the prison. I will never forget that day. When we were both alone, he suddenly said to me, "I have many dogs outside the prison." Dogs? Loyal dogs who obey my every command. I soon realized that what Dogen referred to were not really dogs, but his human henchmen. And that's not all he said. "You'd better watch how you treat me, if you don't want you and your family to become dog food." Oh. I had no choice. I gave him the special cell. I gave him anything he desired. Anything he desired? You don't mean the supplier? That's right. Anything he ordered, I would deliver to him. An underground dealership. I was the one who won over Frankie. It was simple. I just offered him special privileges within the prison. And these underground dealings? Once a week, in the middle of the night, Frankie would shut off 2 of the breakers, so I could move from my office to the courtyard without being seen by the security camera. Once a week? I would go past the fence and drop the goods down the well near the prison. And then I'd sprinkle this perfume over it. So that's the true identity of the sweet scent. The scent of perfume was a signal for Dogen's dog. After picking up the scent, it would carry the goods to Dogen. Of course, this had to be done while Elbert was away from his cell. I'm surprised he never found out about it, pal. We have a strict timetable here at the prison. Mealtime, exercise time. It's easy to know when he's away from his cell. And since little Rocky is afraid of Dogen's dog, I didn't have to worry about him making noise. So, having full knowledge of the prison's inner workings, she made the deliveries herself. This would have ensured there were no slip-ups. Frankie would turn the breakers back on in the early morning, and the delivery was complete. I then modified the timestamp on the security camera. You have told us a great deal. The Goddess of Law accepts your penitent confession. As the warden of the prison, how could I have done such a foolish thing? The day Knightley was killed was also a delivery day. It seems Frankie was working the breakers as usual. But that day I had nothing to send, so I did not go to the courtyard at all. The secret of the supply system. So then Warden Roland was... The police have been searching for Dogen's henchmen for ages. I've also been helping them, but... I've been interrogating him personally in my office, but... No matter how much evidence we have on him, we can't get a single word out of him. So the reason you kept on interrogating him... Yes, it was to find his henchmen! Aww. I borrowed all the evidence from the police, and carried out the interrogation myself. I kept an eye on all his actions, and examined all of his mail. Mail? Like his correspondence chess letters. But I could never uncover the true identity of his henchmen. This fear, it's something you could never understand. Prosecutor Edgeworth, you were listening, right? I'd say this confession clears the warden of all suspicion. Is it really necessary to press her further than this? Is it necessary to press her further? Honestly, I believe her. Badge, friend or foe? Maybe both at once. The badge is almighty, you see. This place seems like more of a kennel than a prison. Press further! Judge Courtney, my questioning isn't over yet. I'm sure the Goddess of Law isn't satisfied yet either. You mean to badger this woman further? Even if she was threatened by Dogen. This does not prove she was not the culprit in this case. She was able to use the supply route to transport Knightley's body. Do you have any evidence to support this? The body gave off a sweet scent. The scent of perfume that was used to signify delivery. Can you explain this fact? Oh, of course. Since I have made so many deliveries, the scent would have lingered around the well. When the body was moved through the well, the scent would have transferred to it. Mr. Elbert also testified to this fact. That's it. For some reason, that well gave off a nice scent. A nice scent. I don't know what it was, but it smelled sweet, like candy. The lingering scent in the well would, of course, be picked up by anything passing through. The defense rests, I see. In that case, court is adjourned. Mr. Ridgeworth, isn't there anything we can do? What should I do? Is this as far as I can go? Is it over already? Yes, Sebastian, it is. Hang on, I want to see what happens if I say nope. I keep forgetting this is a fan translation until I reset the game and see that notice. That's how good this translation is. No need. Indeed, there is no need to question Warden Roland any further. Mr. Ridgeworth, are you just going to let the Warden get away like that? She's the killer, right? It's not like you to overlook a culprit in plain sight, sir. Right. There is still some suspicion surrounding the Warden. We must press her further. Oh, he just overwrites me. But thou must. Alright, we're seeing this dialogue, so I'll just skip through while drinking some water. It's possible she was ordered to kill by Dogen. Ah, the false choice, a classic. Yes. But thou must. Which game was that from? Was it one of the Final Fantasies? There was a false choice, and if you say no, it's like, but thou must. I think it was a SNES game. Maybe a NES game. It was an old one, though. Is it over already? Yes, Sebastian, it is. And now, court is officially adjourned. Oh. Oh. Who was that? Ah. It's not nice of you to adjourn things just like that, Courtney Pie. Mr. Shields. Are you objecting to the court adjourning? Of course not. I ain't got no objection or anything like that. Go ahead and adjourn court. Do whatever you like. Hey, what are you doing, Mr. Shields? Whoa there. Calm down, Kay. We want some chocolate. Is this a joke? You'll have to excuse me. I just have one tiny request to make. As Simon Keyes' attorney. That's right, you're the defense attorney in charge of this case, aren't you? It's easy to forget because Edgeworth's doing everything. Exactly. Did you all forget? That's so mean. But you just left everything to Mr. Edgeworth and didn't do anything at all. Yes, that's right. That's why. I thought I'd do my job a bit. Do your job? That hardly sounds like you at all. It's to prepare for the trial. I'd like to ask the warden a few questions. Surely you jest. What more would you expect to hear from her? Well, Miss Warden, I'd like to hear your thoughts on the culprit. My thoughts? Uncle Ray believes that Simon is not the culprit. It seems that Miss Warden also suspects someone other than Simon. I'd like to hear you out. Mr. Edgeworth, what's Mr. Shields up to? He's trying to lure Warden Roland into testifying. Why was the supply route used to transport the body? I'd say it was to pin the crime on Dogen. Ah, I see. If he committed a murder here, he would be transferred to another prison. One with tighter security. And that would get rid of the troublemaker. Exactly. She wouldn't pass up a chance like that. Hey, hold on a sec. A culprit besides Simon? What do you mean? Simon was the one I was supposed to prosecute. He's really not keeping up, is he? Exactly. So wouldn't it be better if the best also listened to what she has to say? Amazing, Mr. Shields. You managed to drag Mr. DeBest into this too. Warden Roland, is this acceptable? Oh, you. It's fine, it's fine. You understand a woman's heart. Thank you, mademoiselle. Actually, I've thought this over. I'd like to tell you my thoughts. You'll let me speak, won't you, Justine darling? Of course. You may speak. Mr. Shields! Awesome! Phew, that was a close shave. Thank you, Mr. Shields. No, I'm still leaving the rest to you. Remember what I said? A defense attorney never gives up. The fate of our client rests on our shoulders, after all. It'd be uncool if Uncle Ray didn't put that into practice. Now then, Miles. It's your turn to show you'll never give up. Right. Well then, will you listen to my story? My story. I believe that the culprit in this case could only have been Dogen. I have no idea what transpired between Dogen and the victim. It simply could have been that Dogen was displeased with him. In any case, he was the one who stabbed the victim to death. He probably had a dog dispose of the body. This is the truth of the case. The victim, Mr. Knightley, was it? I think it is a truly terrible thing. Taking a man's life, you mean? That's how you'd go about saying it, isn't it? If only I had been more vigilant, his death would not have happened. That's why I want to clear up his regrets. Warden Roland, how considerate. I'm sure Mr. Knightley in heaven is overflowing with gratitude. Is gratitude really what Knightley feels? I believed her, but yeah, I guess she is the killer. Because she wanted to frame Dogen so she could get him transferred. I believe that the culprit in this case could only have been Dogen. You seem very confident of that. How can you be so sure? The children of this home are all good little boys and girls. Believe in yourself, believe in your friends, and believe in me and the guards. There is no way any of these hard-working children could have committed a murder. Why are they in prison? You know, why is Sorit here? Why is Dogen here? Quite an emotional reason. Makes sense, coming from someone like her. Only Dogen would be capable of something like that. I have no idea what transpired between Dogen and the victim. Knightley was being held in the detention centre, and Dogen was in the prison. They couldn't make any contact. Don't you think that would have prevented trouble? The prison is quite confined, right? There were many ways for them to meet. Knightley was murdered days before he would have been sentenced to prison. Surely there weren't many ways a meeting could have occurred. Even without a direct meeting, Dogen can still cause trouble. Mark my words. It simply could have been that Dogen was displeased with him. What could Knightley have done in the detention center to displease him? That was just an example. You don't have to take it so seriously. Didn't I already say that I have no idea what transpired between them? Nevertheless, you certainly are a serious one, Edgeworth dear. What's this? That piercing gaze. Always standing straight and stiff. Very nice. Looking very clever, my dear. I think I'm about to become your biggest fan. Mr. Edgeworth, stay focused. It's just a flesh wound. Right. Is this some form of psychological warfare? In any case, he was the one who stabbed the victim to death. Yeah, there's quite a few murderers locked up here, isn't there? Did we ever find out why Elbert was here? I'm not sure if we found out why he's here. I'd like to hear your thoughts about the circumstances surrounding the murder. Well, I suppose it was a simple job. During his booking, I learned that the victim had some kind of injury to his neck. He couldn't turn his neck to the right. I remember him saying something like that. Booking. That's the process one undergoes before being locked up in the detention centre. It sounds like you don't really know a lot about Knightley. I only know a little. In any case, he would have been an easy target for Dogen. Perhaps he used the chisel hidden in the chessboard. The victim wouldn't even have had a chance to scream. I see. Your opinion will be a very valuable reference. Could you add those last statements to your testimony? Aw, you're making me blush. You're so cute. I'm just kidding. I'll continue. I'll come back to that one, that seems important. I'm sure it would have been a simple job. You certainly seem to hold strong feelings towards Dogen. That's just natural. Remember my interrogations? That man, no matter how much evidence we find, he's still as slippery as a snake. You've got a lot of guts. That smug look he has on his face when he returns to his cell. Oh, just thinking about it makes my stomach churn. I can sort of understand how you feel. You probably had a dog dispose of the body. This is the truth of the case. Hey, panicking? How are ya? Old bag 2.0? Hopefully not. Hopefully she doesn't become a stalker too. Do you mean to say the dog threw the body into the well? Dogen has more than one dog, not just that black one, you know. Didn't I tell you? He has henchmen outside these walls as well. You mean his henchmen outside of the prison aided him in this crime? Of course not. They would have been caught by the security gates. But think about it. Wasn't he the supplier? It's not hard to think he had dogs within the prison too. Oh? Well then, why don't you tell me the names of those so-called dogs? If I knew that, I wouldn't have gone through so much trouble. In any case, it's still a possibility. Please try to consider it. She's dodging the question. Can't I pursue this line of thought any further? Warden Roland's testimony is covered in lies. If I pick them apart one by one, her true colours will surely be revealed. This song is so good. There, I'm gonna save. Everybody loves Edgeworth. Instead of everybody loves Raymond. Hey, Raymond Shields. Perhaps he used the chisel hidden in the chessboard. The chessboard. The thing that the victim brought with him. It seemed like he really enjoyed playing chess. How could I have guessed that chisel would be hidden inside it? The chisel in the chessboard. That fact is only known by a select few people. This was the answer we arrived at from our reasoning, after all. So then, why does she know about this? In Dogen's hands, even a chisel is enough to be used as a lethal weapon. Alright. Am I calling her out on how she knows it? Warden Roland, you certainly are sharp-witted. Hey, enough with the titles. Call me Patty. P-A-T-T-Y. However, there's something you were a little too knowledgeable about. Oh, embarrassed. You're such an inexperienced child, Edgeworth dear. Grr. Fight on, Mr. Edgeworth. You said you didn't really know much about Knightley. If that's the case, how did you know about the chisel inside the chessboard? Oh, of course, the entrance check. Enough with the poor excuses. The entrance check. The chessboard wasn't something Knightley brought with him. It was brought to him later by Mr. Keyes. He didn't even have it when he arrived here. That's... my mistake. I meant the parcel check. Even if we assume that, there are still many suspicious points. Why wasn't such a chisel immediately confiscated? Judge Courtney, did you tell anyone about the trip to this chessboard? I did not. If no information about our investigation was leaked, then how did you find out? You could not have examined this during the entrance check or parcel check. Certainly, someone in the warden's position would never have let a chisel slip by. Exactly. So answer this, Warden Roland. When and how did you learn about the chessboard's secret? In that case, I shall answer for you. It is because... I give up, Edgeworth dear. It is as you say. I interrogated Knightley. That's how I learned about the chessboard. But please believe me, I didn't kill anyone. Enough. It would appear that we have uncovered some vital information. I'll ask you to testify once more, if that's all right with you, Prosecutor Edgeworth. No objections here. Thank you, Edgeworth dear. I'll do my best. Well then, Warden Roland, I trust there will be no lies from here on out. Her pool of lies is slowly running dry. Soon I will bring out her true nature. My story part 2! I wouldn't go so far as to call it an interrogation. I always make sure to talk to all the new arrivals. Mr. Knightley, yes, we had a little chat. After our talk, he went right back to his cell, I assure you. She's piling lies on top of lies, not realizing that it only tightens the noose around her neck. You speak with the new prisoners, you say? That's right. I'm glad you understand. Your testimony is not solid evidence. It requires more than just understanding. Well then, Prosecutor Edgeworth, you may begin your cross-examination. My lies, part 2. Exactly. I wouldn't go so far as to call it an interrogation. You're certain you interrogated him the day before the show? Yes, around 3 AM on the 27th. 3 at night. That matches the time of death on Knightley's autopsy report. You summoned him that late at night and he wasn't asleep? Well, a guard was attacked in Knightley's cell, remember? After that incident, we checked his cell and inquired about the circumstances. I'm sure all that excitement made it hard to sleep. Knightley was wide awake, you know. So, even though it was highly irregular, you still carried out this late-night interrogation. Edgeworth, dear, you're so mean. It may have been irregular, but the truth is I had him moved. You can call it what you like, it still doesn't change the facts. Please excuse him. I'll give my incompetent apprentice a good scolding later. But for now, mademoiselle, what did you mean when you said you had him moved? I thought it was obvious, monsieur. I spoke to him in my office. Her office? The route she used to move Knightley's body. Please add that statement to your testimony. Oh, of course. Come back to that one. I always make sure to talk to all the new arrivals. What did you talk about? What indeed? It was just trifling conversation. What kind of animals he liked, what his hobbies were, that sort of thing. Hobbies? I assume he mentioned chess. Oh yes, that's all Knightley would ever talk about. Now that I think about it, the note he had in his room. It probably had something to do with chess too. So Warden Roland saw Knightley's note. Mr. Knightley, yes, we had a little chat. And what was Knightley like during the interrogation? He was very honest. Mr. Knightley was... honest, pal? He also talked about a croissant and some kind of promo. En passant and chess piece promotions, I presume. En passant? En passant? I'm not sure what that is. Looks like he was his usual chess-loving self. After our talk, he went right back to his cell, I assure you. If he really returned to his cell, there is no way he would be at court now. I know you're suggesting that I killed him during the interrogation, but I couldn't possibly have had a motive to kill Knightley, could I? Dogan was the only one I hated, and he had no connection with the victim. She only hated Dogan. Please add that statement to your testimony. Now we've got two new statements. Dogan was the one I hated, and he had no connection with the victim. He chats with the criminals. The warden sure is easygoing, sir. Easygoing? She killed one of the criminals, you know. Since the guy was handcuffed, it would have been a pretty one-sided affair. Warden Roland has to be the killer. I have faith in my reasoning so far. Alright, this one. Around 3 AM the day before the show, the victim was brought into my office. And where is your office located exactly? Do you know that sign in the detention center hallway? You mean the one that says no entry? Yes, it's just a short walk up that aisle, about 5 minutes from this cell block. I've heard that room exits into the courtyard. Of course, that side of the courtyard is my private garden. Oh, I get it. You're going to say I used that route to move the body. Indeed, you must have been able to use it, if you used that route. For now, that is merely a possibility. There is no decisive evidence to support it. But there is no other way the body could have been moved. Surely you haven't forgotten my theory that Simon Keyes dropped the body in the well? That's right, what she said. He's a goon. He's the total sidekick of some villain. He's just, yeah, exactly, yeah. Pursuing this point further would be hazardous. Dogan was the one I hated, and he had no connection with the victim. a chess move involving pawns. Ah, okay. Thank you, UED. Witness breathes. Edgy. Please add that to your testimony. The only one you hated was Dogen. Am I correct? Yes. Threatening me and doing whatever he wants in this prison. That man, I will never forgive him. I will do whatever it takes to corner him. And his black dog too. They aren't fit to live in my home. Oh wow. Look at it go. She's brimming with hostility, even towards Dogen's dog. At first glance, it would seem she has no motive for killing Knightley. However, her hostility extends to anyone connected to Dogen. If I consider that, the answer will naturally follow. Yeah, she let slip she saw the note. She knows he's connected. Gonna save. In case we mess everything up. Judge Courtney, I'd like you to have a look at this. It looks like a record of a chess game. Is there something wrong with it? This was discovered in the victim's cell. It was Knightley's memo. Warden Roland, you also discovered this note in the very same place. And not just in Knightley's cell, but in Dogen's too, correct? What are you... Don't say that you don't know about the chessboard in the special cell. After all, you would have kept an eye on Dogen's actions, down to the smallest details. No, to be more precise, it wasn't Dogen that you needed to keep an eye on. The warden was searching for Mr. Dogen's henchmen. From the start, I found it strange that the warden interrogated the prisoners personally, since he used his henchmen to threaten harm to her family. Warden Roland interrogated Dogen to expose them. So, what are you saying? As you inspected Dogen's mail, you must have known that he played correspondence chess. Ark! And then Knightley appeared, with a chess memo in hand. We deduced that he and Dogen were connected. You must have arrived at the same conclusion as well. However, you went one step too far in your reasoning. You thought Knightley was one of Dogen's henchmen, who had come to kill you. Oh, I see. So, that's why you interrogated Knightley boy. If the boss won't crack, go after his henchmen. In addition, you discovered something when you were interrogating him. Inside his chessboard, you found a portable chisel. The murder weapon! To Warden Roland, the chisel was a symbol of Dogen, and that was the final straw. You believed Knightley was one of Dogen's henchmen, and you killed him. It seems there will be no rebuttal. Judge Courtney, your verdict. Yeah, that Edgeworth emote is so good. That's why I originally started subbing to I Ate Your Pie. He's got a good Phoenix one as well. I'll show you. It's a Phoenix Thinking. Though it is incredibly unfortunate, there seems to be no room for doubt. I shall announce my verdict for the murder of Horace Knightley. Twice my sacred verdict has been interrupted. Who was that? Oh. Warden Roland? Oh, how strange. You guys really don't understand anything. It would seem the one who doesn't understand is you. Me? Oh, I understand one thing very well. There is a huge contradiction in your logic, Mr. Edgeworth. Once she's cornered, she starts spouting nonsense. Pay it no heed. Judge Courtney, your verdict. He doesn't want to hear. He doesn't want to know anything. I am interested in hearing what the warden has to say. What? I thought so. I just have one thing I want to say. One? Please take a good look at the autopsy report. They had to remind us that the best is here. He doesn't do anything. The autopsy report. The one I brought with me. I heard exactly what you said earlier, Justine, darling. You said the wound was 4 inches deep. 4 inches? No way. Could that tiny chisel really have made a wound 4 inches deep? Freak. Impossible! How could I have made such an error? Oh, forgive me, goddess of law. Well, I believe that overturns your hypothesis. What will you do now, Mr. Edgeworth? What'll we do? It'll be all right, pal. Mr. Edgeworth, always. Whoa, hey now, he's gone all white. Hey, you're a defense attorney, aren't you? Isn't there something you can do, pal? Do that turnabout thing. Make some earth-shattering objection. Uncle Ray's a hard worker, but without decisive evidence, we're just whipping a dead horse here. Does that mean it's hopeless? The true killer is Warden Roland. If it's not her, then nothing that's happened fits. But the chisel isn't the murder weapon. Are there any other sharp objects here? There are still many mysteries remaining in this case. However, we do not have the evidence to solve them at this present time. We have no choice but to continue this battle in the courtroom.
Objection.
That would just give the killer a chance to destroy evidence. Are you mocking the court? No, I didn't mean anything like that. You look perplexed, Miles. Thought of anything yet? The chisel is not the murder weapon. In that case, what is? It's no use. We're back where we started. No objections, Prosecutor Edgeworth? By the way, any baseless statements will be punished accordingly. That's a lot of dots. Just gonna save. The best is Courtney's gumshoe. Please don't sully Gummy's name like that. Pay no attention to what the prime suspect has to say. Yep. He was very eager to be done with this. It's no good. I can't think of anything. I need more time. I regret to say, I have no... No, Mr. Edgeworth, remember what Mr. Shields said. If we give up, Simon will... Have you forgotten that sad look on his face? He was the one who suffered most from Knightley's death. If we can't save him, who will? Besides, Simon believes in us. So we can't give up. Okay. Miles, looks like you've found a good partner. It's like little Kay says. Whenever you're backed into a corner, think of your client. Keep fighting until the very end. Isn't that the feeling you're getting? Gregory, your old man, no matter what trouble he faced, he would always turn things around and save his client. You've got his blood in you, right? In that case, you're the only one who can turn this around. Judge Courtney. The look in your eyes has suddenly changed. If you do intend to speak, you'd better be prepared to face the consequences. Your logic thus far has been misplaced numerous times. If this were to happen again, I will consider you unfit to call yourself a prosecutor, and you will hand over your badge. That's right. My reasoning about this case has indeed been misplaced numerous times. Have I made a grave miscalculation? Wait, my logic is misplaced? Still silent. I cannot condone this waste of time. Yeah, there's something still in the crocodile's stomach. Alligator, sorry. Well then, Mr. Edgeworth. Yeah, I'm gonna have to find where the evidence is. Mr. Edgeworth, I will announce my verdict. That's it. I have to turn my logic around. My logic isn't misplaced. It's been misled. This court finds the defendant, Simon Keys. Okay, so why if we haven't found the real murder weapon, then we can't make a decision on Simon either. That's kind of weird. Isn't it a little early to hand down a verdict? I actually think it's rather late. Don't you agree, Justine, darling? Enlighten us? What? Hey, you had your turn, now it's our turn. Try to remember the eyewitness account about his dog and his absence from the animal show. When I first heard that information, my suspicion immediately fell on Dogen. I'm amazed you take such pride in retelling your previous failings. But was that not the killer's aim? What if we assumed that was their intention from their start? Of course, the chisel served the same purpose. Knightley's blood was stabbed in the same spot. Sorry, Knightley's body was stabbed in the same spot with multiple sharp objects. This shows that he was stabbed with the chisel after the real murder weapon was removed. By soaking the chisel in Knightley's blood, the killer wanted to mislead us into thinking the chisel was the murder weapon. Why? That's because... Why did the killer want us to think the chisel was the murder weapon? Because it was the murder weapon. That's a great option. This is exactly the mindset and pep talk that gets defense attorneys to bluff in court. Yeah, they do have such a different viewpoint, don't they, than prosecutors. Warden Roland, this chisel really was used to kill Knightley after all. Miles, weren't you listening before? It appears I made a mistake in allowing you to speak. It seems I was wrong. To get Knightley expelled. This chisel was used to get Knightley expelled. Get Knightley expelled? But Knightley was already dead by then. Looks like I was wrong. Mr. Edgeworth, stay focused, sir. Right. Don't know how much longer there is to go. Yeah, I'll reload my save just in case. That option should be an instant game over. It should wipe your save file, or that would suck. He was expelled in a certain sense. Yeah, that's a good point. Warden Roland, you made use of this chisel's image. Chisel's image? What are you trying to say? Mr. DeBest, when you see this chisel, what does it suggest to you? Something like, Dogen is the killer, right? Now do you understand? That was the Warden's aim. Ah, she wanted us to suspect the person with the chisels. Oh, I thought we'd already established this. I guess not. Indeed, that was her plan from the very beginning. To make Sirhan Dogan out to be the killer. I understand your logic. It is true the Warden did not think kindly of Dogan. But you understand, don't you? This alone does not prove she is the killer. As I thought, it's not enough. The remaining chance is for me to find the real murder weapon. If you have no more evidence, I believe this conversation is over. I could prove it if I found the real murder weapon. It doesn't matter what you say. We did a clean sweep of this place. It is as Sebastian says. In the end, we could not find any weapons. In other words, such proof is impossible. No, the murder weapon must still be somewhere in the prison. As long as this exists. The security gate? You remember its name after all. Are you mocking me? It's because of those things that you can't take metal objects in or out of this place. Oh! Right. As long as those security gates exist, the murder weapon should still be here. That also means no weapon could have been brought into the prison. In the end, we're back to the same mystery after all. Judge Courtney. Prosecutor Edgeworth, surely you have realised? If the real murder weapon is still in the prison, one must also consider how it got there in the first place. The chisel was concealed within the chessboard, but the chisel is not the real murder weapon, which means the real murder weapon must have been smuggled in somehow. The way it was smuggled in, can you prove that? No, I can actually. How Warden Roland brought the weapon into the prison. You had evidence transferred from the precinct. Yes, we borrowed all the evidence concerning Dogan. I've been interrogating him personally in my office, but... That's it! She could have used that! Hey, Counting, how are you? The murder weapon could be made of wood, Edgeworth. That's true, actually. Oh no, the autopsy report. Did it say metal? Hang on, I'll double check. Yeah, it says sharp metal object. She could have used that. This shows another way a weapon could be brought into the prison. It was brought in via my badge. Professor Edgeworth! So that's how you bring metal objects into the prison. Indeed, with this, even something metal could be. Exactly how does that let metal objects be brought into the prison? What? You really can't use that to bring metal objects into the prison? Professor Edgeworth, I'm disappointed in you. Sorry to let you down. So, there really isn't a way to bring metal objects into the prison? No, there is a way, besides sending it in a package. This shows that method. Well then, Professor, show it to us. I'm not sure if I should say this in front of Kay. Helping her learn how to smuggle things. Yesterday, Dogan said this. Yes, my bells. There are only 2 in the world. Only 2? They're custom made, attached to my knife and Anubis's collar. Even though I can only rely on my ears, I can easily identify them. Alas, one has been confiscated and is not in my possession. It's possible the murder weapon was brought in as confiscated evidence. What? What? Ow. Dogan's knife was confiscated and stored on the premises. Furthermore, a bell was attached to the knife. It can't be. The bell on that chisel! Exactly. The killer took it from the knife and reattached it to the chisel. But the only fingerprints on this chisel are Knightley's. The killer probably wore gloves when they made the switch. She made the chisel out to be the murder weapon by attaching Dogen's bell, and in doing so made Dogen appear to be the culprit. Furthermore, the handling of the set of evidence that this bell originally belonged to was only possible for someone with the proper authority. Who, sir? Who had that authority? Am I going to have to point it out? Why don't we ask the warden what she thinks? You can find bells anywhere. Anyone could have attached it, right? She could have used that man. Ace Attorney Investigations. That man, that path. That's really funny. How have I found this case? I think it's a bit too long. It's got a bit too convoluted. It's alright. I like the new characters in it though. I see. So you don't know. These bells are Dogen's trademark. There are only 2 in the world. What? What? And so, attaching the bell would naturally make you the killer. Do you have evidence that I have a knife? You don't, do you? Of course, I understand. In that case, Mr. DeBest, I'd like to request an investigation, immediately. But if you find it, it'd be problematic for me. That doesn't matter now. It is necessary that we reveal the truth. You are a prosecutor, are you not? Well, even if you say that... Curse this useless prosecutor! If only I still had investigative rights. Besides, we can't investigate without the warden's permission, right? There's no way she would approve. We have no choice but to investigate ourselves. If you don't have evidence, there's no use in continuing this conversation. The Goddess of Law does not smile upon those with no evidence. This will have to be continued in the courtroom. The warden says no to an investigation when she's a suspect. That's not sus at all. Hey Lady Luna, how are ya? I've been at this one conversation for 5 weeks. You know things are getting real when Edgy Sprite is positioned far left for an accusatory finger point. This case isn't bad, it's just that all the other cases in the game are fantastic. Case 3 and 4 are among your favourite in the series. Nice! I'm looking forward to them. Not good. If we give the warden more time here, she'll definitely destroy the evidence. It seems like I have no choice but to raise an objection and stall for time. But I don't have anything definite. Is that really acceptable? Is it really like me to do something this reckless? No, not good. Now is not the time for hesitation. Right now, I'm not a prosecutor, but an attorney's assistant. I need to protect my client. I'm the only one who can save him now. In that case, even if it's a 1 in a million chance, I have to take it. It's sink or swim. Should I raise an objection? Nah. Nah. Does Edgeworth get overtime for this? Good question. You know, he has his own job to do, right? Has he been assigned a case as a prosecutor? He's doing this on his work hours, right? Nah, no objection. Everything's fine. No, I must not object now. It's not like you to let the killer get away when they are right before your eyes. That's right. I can't come to a standstill here. Objection! But thou must. Hold it. Prosecutor Edgeworth? What now? I just realized something. What would that be? Pray tell? Naturally, the whereabouts of the real murder weapon. Dogen's knife. But Mr. Edgeworth? Is that really true? Yes, though it is a lie. What? I find that hard to believe. This isn't a bluff, is it? You underestimate me. The word bluff does not exist in my dictionary. Ugh, this is bad for my heart. There's no way you could know. Besides, such a thing doesn't even exist. Well then, could you enlighten us? Where is the real murder weapon? Think. Somewhere the police didn't look. A blind spot in this animal-filled prison. A hiding place the warden would have complete confidence in. Hiding place? Come to think of it. It was inevitable. Anubis, show them your mouth. The same method? No, it couldn't be, could it? But there aren't that many ways to hide things from an investigator's eyes. Prosecutor Edgeworth, how long do you intend to keep us waiting? It's possible, but I'm taking a big gamble here. The place where the real murder weapon is hidden is here. Outside the prison. To that, but thou must in a single sitting. Impressive game. The word bluff does not exist in my dictionary, unless I'm describing that man. Was the murder weapon really hidden in there? That's not enough information. Please show us in more detail. Around here. There's no way I can accept such a vague statement. It was no good after all. A hiding place the warden would have confidence in. I'll have to look at this through her eyes. Well then, Prosecutor Edgeworth, show us once again where the murder weapon is hidden. She's given us so many second chances, even after threatening us. Again. She's not really scary at all at this point. In the pond. Here, in the courtyard? Indeed. That's not enough information. Please show us in more detail. I'm gonna have to point to the crocodile, aren't I? This feels like it's been quite a long second case as well. Where is the real murder weapon hidden? It's inside one of the basketballs. That's right. The murder weapon is hidden here. I don't think you could hide something there, sir. Even Gumshoe rebutted. It's pointless to keep searching, Edgeworth dear, because it's most certainly not here. Why is the warden so confident? Maybe she hid it in a place where we couldn't approach. Not just some place we couldn't approach, but some place only the warden could get to. It's definitely a possibility. Prosecutor Edgeworth, here's another second chance. Ali the alligator. That's it. Back then. Huh? What's the matter, detective? It looks like the metal detector is reacting to this alligator. Really? Why? Of course. That's why the metal detector reacted. Judge Courtney, I'd like you to take a look at this. The chisel? Wasn't that just a fake murder weapon? Dogen hid this chisel inside his dog's mouth. And the real murder weapon was hidden in very much the same way. The real murder weapon is in the pond, inside the alligator. What? What? We can confirm that the metal detector reacted to the alligator. Judge Courtney, please have the insides of the alligator examined. I give my consent. We'll have to call a veterinarian. Veterinarian. I can make that little girl open her mouth. Can I help? Yes, go ahead. Warden Roland. Discovering the real murder weapon will settle this matter once and for all. Yeah, she was here the whole time, apparently. Yeah, her fox is so cute. I love it. Why don't you do the honourable thing and confess now? What would I have to confess? In that case, you can just wait for your fate to be sealed. Oh, we found it, sir! Just where you said it would be. It's over. Patricia Roland, the real murder weapon is none other than Dogen's knife. And the one who murdered Horace Knightley can only be you. Dogen was the evil one. I didn't do anything wrong. It was completely reasonable. That guy was one of Dogen's henchmen. Him. If only he had never come to my home. I could at least still be happy. My special paradise. He ruined it. All of it. Him. That no-good assassin. Him. Him. Oh my god. Okay, the breakdown animations in this game have been amazing. Oh my god. 12:34 PM. Detention Center hallway. Mr. the Best of the Best! We have the results. Oh my god, does he tell them to call him that? The best of the best? Looks like even the forensics officers have it tough. We found traces of Knightley's blood on Dogen's knife. It was just like you said. You're the best, Mr. the Best. Hey Shizzle, how are ya? We just had a, well, we finally found the end of this case. That was a good animation. Alright, good job. But don't stop there. Keep the praise coming. Yes, sir. You're so incredible, it brings tears to my eyes. From sorrow? Well done, Sebastian. Next comes the follow-up investigation. Huh? What are you talking about, Justine? Hasn't the case been solved already? We have not yet confirmed if Knightley truly was one of Dogen's henchmen. There is also a chance that Warden Roland jumped to conclusions. Oh! That is the remaining uncertainty in this case. Anyways, let's keep investigating. Hey, you there, come with me. Since I'm the best, the truth will appear before me first. When that moment arrives, make sure you don't miss it. Yes, sir. I'm looking forward to witnessing your first-rate ability. Let's go! We live in troubling times, wouldn't you agree? The would-be assassin of the president was found murdered in the prison. Knightley had not planned to assassinate the president. The truth is not as vital as you seem to believe it to be. Not to the world, and not to the law. That can't be right. Yeah, Dogen explicitly threatened her and her family, because he still has henchmen on the outside. It was pretty sad, actually. Yeah, that's why he had everything he wanted, because she was scared of him. Believe what you will. However, as long as Prosecutor Edgeworth remains a prosecutor, it is an inescapable reality. A prosecutor is not someone who demands a guilty verdict. That is what I believe. Those are merely your values. The law is not the plaything of any one person. If you will not submit to that, you will do well to prepare for the consequences. What's that supposed to mean, pal? Don't tell me you're gonna... Now then, this is where I must take my leave, Prosecutor Edgeworth. Judge Courtney is right. The law should not serve any one person's desires. However, if the truth is bent as a result of that, can that really be called justice? Ah, Simon! Boss! What happened? They said you could come out already? Well, honestly, I don't know for sure. All of a sudden, they were like, "You're free to go, and you should thank Mr. Edgeworth." Well, that's because he found out who the real murderer was. Really? He did? Mr. Edgeworth? I get the feeling I need to show him something, so I'm going to save so I don't mess it up. They always throw that in as a surprise, so you have to show the right evidence in the ending. Oh, no way, no way. Even if you glare at me like that is useless. I'm innocent after all. You can't make me guilty. Simon, you should thank him, you know? You're right. Thank you very much. I want to thank you too. Good grief. Mr. Defense Attorney, can I ask you just one more question? Yes, you may, but I'm not a defense attorney. I thought that Knightley and I were friends. No, I mean best friends. I always thought we were. You don't think so anymore? Well, I'm just wondering. There were some things I had no idea about. Like how he could hate someone enough to kill them. That's why... But maybe he never trusted me either? Simon, that's not true. You're lying! Because if I had known, I could have stopped him. I would have told him he had no need to be angry with anyone. That works. Mr. Keyes, I don't think he disliked you either. Let's show him proof that Knightley trusted him. I think it's a chessboard. But maybe it's his dead body? What is this? It's proof of Knightley's trust in you. But I don't really get it. I don't really understand either. Mr. Edgeworth, maybe this is what you were going for? Wow, they don't let you get it wrong in this one, actually. Yes. I must be tired from working for so long. That's what I gave to... Knightley hid a chisel inside it. Most likely to aid in his escape. Escape? He used me? He trusted in you. You're assuming that I got the joke in Simon's name. Ah, monkeys? Monkeys? Oh, yeah, I did not think about it. Monkeys. You knew you'd bring it to him without looking into it and without question. And in doing just that, you were caught up in everything. Oh. Wah, Knightley, you idiot. Looks like he gets it. Simon is not as dumb as he looks after all. I'm sure he'll be back to normal by tomorrow. By tomorrow? That seems a bit... early. Was that supposed to be a compliment? Oh, I'll be strong. I'll become a splendid wild animal tamer, for Knightley's sake. Excellent. That's the spirit. This act is still very creepy. Please don't do it. I almost forgot. If you'd like, please come to our next show. Nah. I'll also be performing in it. Sea monkeys. So is his name pronounced Seaman? Simon? Nah. The Very Big Circus is always fabulous and fun for all ages. I didn't realise what I just said, sorry. No, forget that. Wow, that sounds like fun. Let's go, Mr. Edgeworth. Well, I'll think about it. Don't do it, it's not worth it. Don't do it. Well, we need to get back to practicing right away. You'll be with Regent today. Might be a Ratatouille reference. Yeah, with the thing with his controlling the hair. Yeah, it reminds me of Ratatouille. What? The tiger? No way, no way, no way. It'll be fine. He's a good boy. No, no way. There's no way it will be fine. Please cut me a break, boss. She's a pretty strict boss, actually. Guess he's Acro's replacement. Yeah, maybe. So I think they just expanded, actually, because apparently there was there's a ventriloquist department now, so there's more ventriloquists, unfortunately. And there they go. But man, bravo, bravo! You really put on a good show today, Miles. His clap seems so, like, sarcastic. It's all thanks to you, Mr. Shields. Without your help, she might have gotten away. Not to mention allowing us to continue the investigation. Oh man, cut it out already. You're gonna make me blush. I never know when you are being serious. Uncle Ray is always serious. So how was it, Miles? How did it feel to be a defense attorney? To save people? A defense attorney? But that really took me back. It was just like being next to your old man again. It's been a while since I felt this good. It was... well, it's somewhat difficult to say it was a good thing. Come on, Miles. Are you sure you don't want to be a defense attorney? What? You know, pick up where your father left off. Don't you want to save people like he did? What are you talking about, pal? Mr. Edgeworth is a prosecutor. But is it really that unusual for a prosecutor to become a defense attorney these days? Unusual isn't the problem here. Hey, don't be so upset. It's normal, you know. Normal. It's not. Normal, pal. You'd all make for a powerful defense team. Mr. Shields, I am a prosecutor. And Uncle Ray is a defense attorney. That's why. I'm being serious about this. Well, that's just my opinion. Feel free to drop by any time if you have a change of heart. I'll be waiting for you. Follow in my father's footsteps. Me? Become a defense attorney? I'm going to become a defense attorney, just like my dad. Should I become a defense attorney? Like my father? The end. Aww. Inherited turnabout. Well. He won't feel good after Miles sends him the bill for his services. Mo was a better ringmaster and manager than Clown, which isn't hard. Yes. You know, I liked Mo out of all those characters. He seemed like a good guy. Not a good clown, but a good guy. Alright. That's the end of case 2, finally. Well, we shall see where it goes. And next time we'll start off case 3. Alright, let's see if there's someone to host. Thank you, Steve. I Eat Your Pie is still playing Among Us. Nice. I'm going to host him because Among Us is really fun to watch.
I just fixed them.
Yeah. Alright. /raid. I Eat Your Pie. And thank you all very much for watching. I'll see you later. See ya.